You know the problem with you little niggas? The problem is you don't know the difference between guns and butter. The guns, that's the real estate, the stock market, artwork, things that appreciate with value. The butters, shit, cars, clothes, jewelry, all that other shit that don't mean nothing after you buy it. That's the difference. Guns and butter, you little dumb motherfuckers. I want all my niggas to be millionaires, so we gonna teach y'all about this guns and butter shit for real. Welcome to Guns and Butter, episode 3. I'm your host, King Blake.
I'm your other host, Ace.
And we got a special guest today. We got Big Ant Hailstock. Hey, how you doing today, sir?
I'm well, little bro. Yourself?
I'm pretty good. Glad to have you here.
Good to be here, bro. Believe that.
So we're gonna get right into it. Tell us a little about yourself.
Oh, let's see, man. It ain't a whole lot of complications with me. Straight out of Greenville, straight out of Nickertown. Went to jail, man, high school. Graduated from there. Had a scholarship to play ball at Clemson. Fumbled a few times and wound up going to Gardner Webb, man. And, got somewhat of an education, man. And, I fell victim to a strong desire of being impatient and wanting the money before I earned it.
Okay, I like how you put that in words. So my question to you is this. What was it, how was your upbringing? Were you forced in that situation or did you just want it? It was a knack for it?
You know what, man, I was actually kept away from that, man, coming from both sides of my family, man. On my mother's side, her brothers, man, was stone cold hustlers, and, on my father's side, they was gorillas, man, so they pretty much kept me from that, man. And one of my uncles, man, he named me the $1 million baby because he felt like I was gonna be the way to change, the mentality and the way of life that they had become accustomed to with playing ball. So I was really kept away from that, but I'm inquisitive, man. I always observed and listened. So, of course, by being kept away from you still observe and you listen. So that's a part of your learning process.
Right.
Made you more curious.
Oh, without a doubt, bro.
Yes,
And at what age did you say that you started dabbling into that or looking in that type of lifestyle?
Man, I felt like I needed to get away. When I went to college, I wasn't around my people, so they couldn't really monitor me like that. But being a football star, man, I had access to it early on, but I always, that ain't the route I want to go. That ain't the route I want to go. And the ironic thing, man, my major was criminal justice. I wanted, work for the Fed, but I wanted to be able to change, that from the inside out versus how it affected my people.
Right.
So when I got into college, man, it just became more accessible to me, by playing ball. And that's actually when my sophomore year is when I started kind of dib and dab, and I took off from there, man.
How long would you say it took you to get to a place where you could consider successful in that?
Very quick. I think, man, with me, and I ain't saying I'm no better in my perspective of, when it comes to other brothers that would have been in a similar situation. It's just that I look at things differently. My filter is a little different. So I did things different, and one reason why I had to come home from school, I had a chance to play pro ball, man, and I was leaving school early. And by leaving school early, I was supposed to be getting prepared, to go to a free agent camp, man. And I had already started doing my thing, so I kind of lost focus. And by losing focus, I had to come home. When I got home, man, it just took off, man. I had to fill that void with something that I was used to that made me feel like playing ball did.
Like you was important.
It was empowering, man. You play ball and you good at what you do and you get accolades and get attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, on the football field, bro, you can do what you want to do to a joker, and it's all right. It ain't against the law.
What position you played?
Defensive tackle.
Okay.
So I was a lot bigger then. I was I'm 6 feet, 325.
So you were a beast then out there on that field.
You like that contact.
Oh, without a doubt, man. And just that just counted, man, because when I first came home, I was staying in the stuff, on the physical tip, off the hand and you know, and that kind of filled a void for me, man, and it just kind of escalated from there.
And while you saying jail, man, I went to man too, and the Hailstock name do mean something, that man, for real.
I believe it, bro.
Yeah,
I still hold 90% of all the weightlifting and powerlifting in the road.
Yeah. You said 90%.
90%.
Okay.
You know, I was an amateur powerlifter from the 9th grade all the way to my freshman year in college, man. My freshman year in high school, I was the second strongest high school athlete in the state, but they gave it to an upperclassman, man. But from my sophomore year on, I was the strongest high school athlete in the state of South Carolina. My senior year, I finished third in the nation by 65 pounds.
Third in the nation.
Yes.
That's big. But you said that you always been like in high school from on, even in college. Right. That was more so you like the position of who people looked at you as, basically. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like they look at you as you that guy. Yeah. And to you it's like, I gotta keep this going no matter what route I take it like.
It was very gratifying, that particular part, man, but it's so adrenaline based. It was for me, you know what I mean? And I was always the type of dude, man, I like the adrenaline portion of it, you know, so I didn't really dab in anything outside of that, man, and that always made me feel good, man. It's like I've accomplished something, or I'm doing something to make my people proud. But when I came home from school, man, it just took a turn. You know, it started to spiral, you know, from my first charge. You know, after that, you know, I started, you know, accumulating charges. So before I knew it, man, I had caught a state bid. You know, I caught 10 years in the state, man. But they was trying to hit me off for like 32, you know. But I had a powerful mouthpiece back then, man, and I kind of skated and I just got the 10, but I ain't stopped hustling. I'm still getting it, man, while I was locked up, man, and I just adapted. You know, one of my uncles was in there, you know what I'm saying, and he taught me how to bid, man, and once I kind of got acclimated, I still did my thing, man, you know.
So even behind the wall, you ain't never stopped hustling?
No,
it was never, it's just...
No, sir.
So what was your, like back in them days, right? What was the highlights? What would you say the highlights of it all when you was really getting into that?
Man, I tell this story, man, to some of my homeboys, man. I remember the first $100,000 I ever made, man. I got me a room at the Hyatt. You know what I'm saying? Just pulled it out on the bed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Took me a shower and put on one of them big thick robes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Laid on that jump. You know what I'm saying? That last out, man. And, you know what I mean? I felt like I was on top of the world, man. But the thing was how I moved. A lot of people probably wouldn't have never knew it. My homeboys used to always say, "Boy, when you dip, man, and disappear, you always come back," and then came up. And that's the perception that I always wanted them to have. You know what I mean? So that was one of the highlights for me, because I felt like I had made it, you know, with 100 bands.
Right.
You know what I mean?
First 100.
But it's a lot that come with that, man. A lot of times that we never foresee.
Right.
You know.
So, quick question, right? And as far as like in it, was you on the guns then, or was you on the butter? Were you trying to buy nice things, more materialized, or were you already had that mind to where long term success? So you just $100,000 cash. I'm assume it, but I ain't gonna say it.
That's a lot back then too.
Back then that was a lot. To me, man, I wanted more. You know, I wanted more. But I wanted the power too. You know what I'm saying? It came along with being able to ascertain large sums of money. I felt like if I had the power, the money coming, you know. So that's what I wanted, but I didn't have all of the structure in place, because I was kind of just going off of what I knew, mixing school, business, you know what I mean? Mixing business with street, you know. And I knew that my asset, man, honestly, was my physicality, you know. And for the most part, I ain't really have a lot of field dudes, you know. So that's what I kind of used, you know, as my staple, and trying to get more. You know, so I was at the time I was probably on the guns, but I had aspirations for the butter.
Right.
Definitely. When you first caught your time, did it help you out any, like going to school and stuff?
Nah, not in the state, man. It didn't really. They didn't really. I had 60 hours when I caught my bid. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I had enough, you know, in the state of South Carolina back then, I could be a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
You know, and I had got, you know, a few offers to substitute teaching coach, you know, because my coaches from high school, you know, they were still trying to look out for me the best way they could. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't fully focused. When I went in the state, they didn't offer nothing really, man, you know, other than to get your GED. But I had high school diploma, so I just kind of observed. I started back lifting, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I was powerlifting in there, man, and punishing too. We had different institutions coming, you know, and I would powerlift, you know, against those guys, but I would still be doing my thing in there, all the while trying to formulate, you know, another plan and be better at what I had been doing, you know. So I was just trying to use the time to get better with that, opposed to bettering myself.
So that mostly was what you spent your time doing when you was big. You basically was just focusing on how you was gonna get better at what you was doing before.
Yeah. Now in the state, that was in the state, cause I did the 4 in the state, and then I turned around and did 12 in the Fed. So, you know, apparently I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And,
is it a big difference between state time and Fed time to you?
It is. Back then it was, man. You have more access to things like, you know, I finished, you know what I'm saying, one of my degrees while I was in the feds, you know, and I got 2 others. You know, I'm a certified optician by trade. I'm a sous chef by trade. You know, and I finished with my bachelor's as well. So, you have more access to those type of things.
So you was using your time to actually, so you something when you get on the outside, you'll be able to benefit off those things as well.
I was really, man, brother, I was really just trying to be better, you know what I'm saying, from the inside. Because for so long I had been trying to be a man that I didn't know how to be. I had aspirations to be a certain kind of man, but I just didn't know how to be that man. So, you know, in there, man, you know, every human being started out as a cell. And that's what I was put back into, a cell. You know what I mean? To regenerate, you know what I mean? To remake myself, to re-evolutionize myself to some level and degree. And that's what I started as, man. I searched for God, because, boy, you know yourself, bro. When you're going through something hard, boy, your prayers are sincere. Tell them to get some answers or something, you know. And that's all I was trying to do, man, all along, you know, just building my character to be a better man first in person. You know, so I kind of focused on that, let everything else go, you know, because it hurt, man, because I realized, boy, you got a hell of a beard this time, boy. So I focused more so on me and in there opposed to out here.
And being away from your family during those long, like that was a long period. Altogether, how many years was it you said?
16.
16. How did that affect you as far as family, your kids' lives, your life? How did that affect you back when you was big?
Man, I missed a lot, man. I missed a lot from my oldest. You know, my firstborn, man, I missed a lot, man. I put a lot into him, and I always just wanted him to be better than me. And I just wanted to see him, you know, do the things that I didn't do that he wanted to do. I didn't want to live my dream through him, but I just wanted to see him have a level of success that I didn't have up until that point. And that's all I was trying to instill in him before I left. So to see him go through things and, you know, have accomplishments, and I'm not there, you know, man, it did something to me, man. It really changed me to where I value time more. You know, I think me and you was talking, I told you, time is the only irrecyclable resource we have at hand. You know, so you can't get it back. Everything in creation is recyclable.
That's right.
Except time. So by time being like that, it places a premium on it. And I always said, man, I ain't wasting no more. You know, but I can't get back what I lost. So I did, you know, I lost family members, man. Family members went through things that I felt like if I would have been here, maybe they wouldn't have. So it just let me know I ain't going back. You know what I'm saying? I won't go back.
Okay. And I'm gonna take this. What was the biggest lesson during your time in the streets that you learned in the streets?
Every brother ain't a brother.
Can I see why you say that?
Yeah, bro. Cause, you know what I mean? And I hear young brothers rap about it all the time, bro. Them ones you would lay it down for a brother, I don't necessarily mean they'll lay it down for you.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? When you've experienced that empirically, yourself, and you know how you get ready to cry when you was little, you get that lump in your throat. Shit, I done got that lump in my throat a few times, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, man. But you know, that taught me, man, every brother ain't a brother, you know. You know, like I was telling you, man, people can't function outside of what they don't know, man. They only function inside of what they know. And honestly, that's probably all that they knew or had been exposed to. But that was that was a shock.
What can you give an example of a direct experience? You ain't gotta say no names of nobody, but you just a direct experience that was heartbreaking from that side to you.
Somebody, you know what I'm saying, that I looked at as family, it wasn't blood, you know, that I would always look out for, man. You know, he wasn't a gorilla, you know what I'm saying? And I knew it, but he was a good dude, but he was, you know, trying to live that life. You know what I'm saying? So I would always take that slack for him. If I felt like dudes was trying to get at him, you know what I mean, I'm a straight man, because this is what I do. And when it all said and done, you know, and it hit the fan, you use me as your scapegoat. And I would have never did that to you, you know? It crushed me, man.
Heartbreaking.
Oh, man, it crushed me, man. But about him not being built like I was, you know, I still could have probably touched him. You know what I mean? I knew I could. But I love the dude, man. I loved him. You know what I'm saying? I loved his mama, man. But, you know, I let it ride, man.
So your love for him, you didn't want to punish him due to his disloyalty to you.
I wanted to.
You wanted to?
It wouldn't have changed nothing. You know, I couldn't have got my time back. You know, all the stuff that I missed with my children and my family, it wouldn't have changed that. You know, man, you know, his mom and my mom friendship, man, was distinguished. You know, it was just tore up because of that. I couldn't have got that back together by doing that, man. It's just one of those lessons, the things that we don't think about when we in the midst of grinding. You know what I'm saying? Ain't but two ways, man. You going to jail or, you know what I mean, the graveyard.
Only two ways.
Ain't two ways, man. You know, you gotta decide which, is it worth it? You know, to me, it just wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? A third time, because I got 2 strikes, but they still charged me as a career offender. You know, they punished me, man. They punished me.
What was like, and you said you always been a big dude, so they was always intimidated by you in that sense. And not, I mean, just being real.
Yeah, I think some dudes was, you know, but I ain't have a problem if you wasn't. I ain't have a problem, you know, straight there for you.
Right.
I didn't carry myself like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm the biggest, baddest of the gorilla.
You was humble, but you ain't play no games.
Yeah, you know, and I ain't gonna say I ain't never get touched up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you know yourself in the hood, when you get touched up, you learn how not to get touched up. You get good at what you do.
Right.
And in my mind, I always say, you know, I think that I'm willing to do what the next man ain't gonna do.
Hey, that's what
Everybody ain't really
everybody ain't built like that.
Yeah. Even if they can beat you, they like you willing to do what they ain't willing to do. So
that's why I heard somebody say something like, the last thing another real nigga wanna see is another real nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm gonna say this. A real G don't even like to see a real G die. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I like that.
Man. I done been thrown love and soft strap. Good. When I got out of the Fed at the halfway house, man, I had it brought to me, man. It's like, you don't hold nothing. You know what I mean? Brand new Escalade, things in the back. This is how I knew I ain't have it in me no more. You know what I mean? I'm like, just give me the bread, take everything. No smoke.
Yeah.
Just let me get the bread.
Yeah.
So right then, I was like, man, I ain't got to live me no more, man. It just felt like I had a lot more to live for.
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't a lot of dudes like that no more that's gonna look out for you when you come home and stuff.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
You know, bro, you are so very right. The first person that, after that experience, that really wanted to look out for me was my home girl. You know what I mean? She remember when she was little, man. You know, and I used to stop by mama's house. You know what I mean? Count up. You know, sit, rest. You know what I mean? Bag, whatever, man. And she would be asleep, man. I'll slide something up under her pillow. She'll be asleep. And she always remembered that, man. When I got out, she was like, shit, man. He kept our lights on. Looked out for my mama. I always made sure I was straight. Shit, what you want? You know, I was like, just want to see you shine. You know what I mean? Don't get caught up like I did. You know, she became my little sneaker. You know, my little sneaker. That's cool. You know?
That's what's up, man.
When you was about to jump into the game, did your people ever have a little clue that you might jump into the game? Did they ever sit you down and maybe say, this the rules of this? Or you just knew just cuz?
One of my uncles, man, cold-blooded. He also was Nicky Barnes. You know what I mean? He, you know, kind of gave it to me, you know, but he always let me know it's grown man game, man. You know, it's grown man game. So you gotta make your way in this, you know, and be stand up the best way you know how to. In the beginning, man, I was, you know, just with the people I dealt with, I was cool, man, but I had a little grimy side, you know, too. I had a little grimy side to me, man, and I done did some things on both ends, man. You know, did stuff that I ain't really had to do, you know. Had bread and still, you know, might get dude, let me get that. Especially them dudes from up top, they were coming down here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I just, because they always looked at us like we slow.
Like country.
Yeah, we post up in all spots without, you know what I mean, checking in.
But that's how we beat them.
Yeah, that's how we meet. But you know what I'm saying? I might have ganked 2 or 3 of them, but one came down and was real. Like, man, shit, we can rock. Yeah, we can. You know what I'm saying? This still me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't even want to come across, man, like I was just tough dude, because I moved a certain way. I always believed in you let people see what you want them to see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier to rock them to sleep then. So a lot of dudes might have seen me as a square dude because the way I talk or how I carry or even green, and I like that.
That's smart.
They give you an advantage because
every time,
they
bro.
always gonna think they can play you. They gonna think you slow to the game.
All that, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
All that. So
Yeah.
I like it. Don't bother
And you
me.
use that as to your advantage in the long run.
All the time, man.
They didn't look at it like you was multifaceted instead of just looking at it like, because you don't been to school, you been in the streets, so you all around.
You got both sides.
Yeah.
You got both sides.
When dudes would say, "Oh yeah, this is my bodyguard," I know I got it. You know what I'm saying? Because the big man with the big muscles gonna always be led by the man with the big mind. You know what I mean? So I always kind of consider myself as that. Because when people coming up, people would always say, "This is my bodyguard," because I was so big, and I got tired of that particular stigma. So what I did, man, is I started striving to learn how to master the English language. Because language, like I told you, bro, is the thing that makes us most visible. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, well, tighten up on your vocabulary, know what you're saying, and don't be afraid to study situations, people, and what you need to study to be successful in this system.
And as you was bidding, right? Out of all them 16 years, while you was locked up, what's the one thing you would say changed your life?
Oh man, bro. I come from a highly religious family. You know what I'm saying? As a lot of us do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was told, man, when I was a shouter, well, you're gonna be a powerful preacher. You know, okay. I believe, you know, what we was taught. You know what I mean? But what changed me, man, like I said, I was crying out to God while I was locked up doing that Fed bid, man. I was crying out. That thing was hard, man. But what changed me, man, that really, really changed me and made me have a love for self first and my people is joining the Nation of Islam. And, you know, without that, man, ain't no telling where I would be at and how I would look at things, how I would treat things, man. It made me, you know, learn to love my people more than hate themselves. You know what I'm saying? It keeps. As long as I keep that perspective, whatever I come in contact with my people, man, I ain't even gonna let nobody hurt me, but I'm always try to use the greatest intelligence to diffuse anything. You know, and the business principles that I live off of and go off of now, you know what I mean? I got it from them. I merged them with some of the stuff that I've learned, but for the most part, man, I got the full gambit of learning how to be a black man in a world that has rejected us, you know, and wasn't created for our betterment or benefit.
And again, love our people more than they hate themselves.
Bro,
that's and you used to tell me like how you back in the day you was
to mama.
that's real, man.
That's definitely.
But as far as you was telling me that you used to be quick tempered, and I know that helped you. That helped you with that.
Yeah, man. I had a bad temper, man. When I was in the state joint, the first time I went up for parole, they shot me down on purpose to see how I was gonna handle it, cause it was in my jacket, you know, dude, bad temper. You know what I mean? So I had to go through a program, you know what I mean, called ATU. It's Addiction Treatment Unit, but part of it was, you know, some therapy for my anger. Once I found out the basis of why I was angry, then I could further and better combat it. You know what I mean? And what my anger consisted of, that my father, man, was in the penitentiary most of my life, man, and he ain't had to give me nothing. I just wanted my pop. So I felt like when I started being, I said I never want to be like how my pop was to me. I loved him to death. You know what I mean? He didn't want to be there, but he just wasn't there. Still love my old man to death, man. And I just didn't want to put my children in that same predicament, but I winded up doing so. And bro, that was a hell of a thing for me. So when I seen it going that way, man, I started drinking, you know what I mean, started getting high. I just was trying to escape it, you know, because it hurt, man. And I knew I was leaving. But then I did dip, you know what I'm saying? I jumped on it, you know what I'm saying? I jumped on it, but I came back, man, because of my people, man. Primarily my mom. I ain't want a word of death, man. So I was married at the time, you know, and my wife, man. So it's a lot that come with that we don't necessarily calculate when we out there in the midst of it. You know, at least I didn't calculate all that came with it.
Okay. And my another question for you is, you actually was in that game back in them days, but now you outside looking in. From that perspective, even if you want to give it from the end perspective, what would you say the difference between the streets now and then be, or is still the same in your eyes?
I think a lot. It's some similarities, you know what I'm saying? Because you have reckless guys in each era and generation. Just reckless, that's what it is. But I see a lot of young brothers that sharp as hell, man, but they reckless. You know what I mean? They just reckless, man. Maybe it's what they done been through, what they didn't have, or what they needed and didn't get, but they don't want to listen. All they want to do, you know what I'm saying, is hurt the next dude that look like them. But I understand it now a little better than I did then. See, the brothers, you know what I'm saying, that's outside of my generation, the younger brothers, they was built for war. You know what I'm saying? That's what they was built for. Dudes of my generation is built to lead and guide them, but they built for war. You know what I mean? So I understand, you know.
It all makes sense. It's just what the universe properly aligned.
Yeah, I understand, man. And I got much love and admiration for a lot of young brothers out here still doing their thing. And like I shared with you, a hustler is a hustler, man. Just getting it in the street. That's the most primitive, unevolved way to get money and hustle. That's the easiest, primitive way. You know what I mean? If you a hustler in the street and you really getting it, you take those same principles, man, and you transfer them into business. You know what I mean? And because believe it or not, man, when they get you in the feds and you really done got real bread, man, they asking you a million questions, they debriefing you, man, and they taking that information and they utilizing it in the real world, in the business world.
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Damn.
So, I like what you just said with them speaking only, because you said these are the warriors. Yeah. This generation is the warriors.
These cold-blooded warriors.
And the guys before us are the leaders, the leadership role, the mentorship. Yeah. How you feel? Because I heard you say that it was painful for you missing your father, which a lot of us do experience that,
right.
And we can relate to that. But what was your take on mentorship now? Like how important, like as far as, because I know your two sons personally.
Right.
How important do you feel that mentorship in a man's life is to be to what he need to become? That man that you say you so-called wanted to be but didn't know how to be it.
Well, when I look at it, man, and I look at it from, when I was younger up until now, the best teacher now, man, is the example. Because in this world, man, people don't do what you say, they do what you do. You know what I mean? So my thing is, you can't go, in the hood and be like them and try to help them get better. You got to be opposite than them, because opposites is that in which attracts and a like repels, the same principles of a magnet. So if I go in the hood, they got to be able to relate to me, but they got to know, he come from the bottom like us. But now they see something different. Like, he can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, like,
and they give them motivation.
Hope. Yeah.
You motivate them, inspiration.
Even if you just start a popsicle stand and you from the same hood, but they like, damn, boy, I can really get out the streets and still well what I want to live how I want to live.
Cause you know how we do, bro. If we from the same, cut from the same cloth, you know what I mean? Yeah. We try to look out for each other. Mm-hmm. My homeboy sells sneaks. You know what I mean? Got them fat leather coats, you know what I'm saying? My homegirl, she always got them jeans. Some kind of way we gonna connect, man, where you still gonna have the things that you need, because when you are in line with what you was created to do, everything that you need is gonna be provided for you. You know what I mean? And I always use this principle, and I tell my son, man, I come from the best, so I deserve the best. You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to have, I ain't materialistic, but I like the best of whatever I like, man.
I'm telling you.
You know what I mean? And it's in your DNA, it's in your DNA, it's in the brother's DNA, because of where we come from, who and what we are, not where we are.
Facts.
Right.
And man, you hit me with a lot.
I got it for you, bro. So I would have to go through what I go through to get it to you, bro.
So out of your testimony, what do you feel like? What the definition of what we feel is guns. What is the most things what you call guns in your life? If you got some core things that you feel like is guns to you.
Well, out of our mentality, man, we have never been a diabolical people. You know what I mean? That ain't been us, man. So the gun itself, what it was used, is a form of force and destruction. You know what I mean? To be able to ascertain those things, you know what I mean, that you want to take by force, and wipe out people and start your own people. Mm-hmm. So guns is an instrument, you know what I mean, that can be used for that. But then how I translate it is that there are some things that you got to learn to take by force within first yourself. You have to learn how to force yourself, man, to do those things that are uncomfortable to you, and unlearn some of the things that you learned that you thought was right. So be just as aggressive as, if a dude stepping at you, you know what I'm saying? Be just as aggressive, you know what I'm saying, internally with self first and foremost. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm destroying that, man. Yeah, whatever I got to do, I'm smashing. You know what I mean? Take that mentality first, you know what I mean, to better yourself. So that's the guns for me.
The mindset.
The mindset for me first.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And then you aim it.
The butter, you know what I'm saying, is the basis, you know what I mean, that I begin to lay with that mentality to be able to multiply and be prosperous. You know what I mean? My wealth might not necessarily be a whole lot of money, but what I have in here with me is valuable And it's no amount of money in the world could buy what I got, man. And I'm rich. Filthy rich.
Oh yeah.
I like that. I like that concept.
Okay.
Because when he see the shirt, you know what he said? He say, "That's dope. Y'all got the buttermilk."
I like that. I got that. One of them jumps, man. I can't wait till the summertime. I'm gonna push one of them jumps on my bike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of them jumps.
You definitely got one
For
coming.
sure. We got you one on the way.
Man.
But man, so as far as that, what would you say for the future? Like, as from here forward, what would be your message to younger guys like myself, your sons, and guys that's cut from that same cloth, you would say, but we were able to transition it, you know what I'm saying, and make it a way where now we can really turn up. You know what I'm saying?
I would say this, man. Young brothers, things ain't what they seem. Situations ain't what they seem. You know, and I think I shared with you, man, nobody is what they appear to be. And no situation is what it appears to be. There are people that seem to be this. Some are less, some are more. And there are situations that seem to be this. But there are lesser situations, and some of it's a little bit more to it. Man, what we're living in now is necessary to bring out the best in us. So, man, cling to your family, you know what I mean? And just cause they blood don't necessarily mean they family, because I got family that ain't blood. But cling to your family, strive to be better than what you are today, and know that the skill set that you've got from coming up from the bottom is necessary. It's necessary, but you ain't gonna get but so far, you know what I'm saying, hurting a man that look like you. You know what I mean? Especially the black woman. And I ain't perfect at that, bro. But captivate, you know what I mean, the time that we currently reside in, man, get as much as you were blessed to get out of each day, you blessed to be here, man. Get every ounce out of that day, because tomorrow ain't promised. You know what I mean? So if it ends for me today, I hope that I'll plant some seeds, not only in my children, but my homeboys' sons and daughters, so that what we got coming, you know what I mean, we can get it. You know what I mean? And it's simple. I don't overcomplicate now, bro. I don't turn some stuff into rocket science.
All right. What you got? You got something?
Hey man, he laid it down. There ain't nothing more to be said yet.
Any final words for you?
Hey, brother, I want to tell both of y'all, man, I'm proud of what y'all doing, man. Nothing or nobody starts out the way they gonna end up, bro. Be patient, keep on your grind, keep doing your thing, man. Keep striving and reach out people and let somebody tell their story. Regardless of how we look at what a dude did, how he did it, we think he a slime bucket or what. He got a story as to what helped make him a flying ball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So how you feel about, that's a good question, because a lot of people, right, and me and my daddy had this conversation, and he was like, how you feel about having people that told people that done did this and that? How you feel about them being on the podcast? What you think about that?
They got a story too, man. You know what I'm saying? Find out what happened to you if you broke the code, man. Why you break the code? You know? Why did you break the code?
Don't you think that's a touchy? Don't you think that's a touchy?
Oh, it's very touchy. Very, very touchy. You know what I mean? But maybe if somebody delve off into that mindset, you can see, well, damn, so okay, maybe we can help stop these dudes from doing that.
Right.
Because our, you know what I'm saying, response to this, man, that's off these niggas, man. That's off. You know
Back in those days,
yeah.
if somebody tell you,
it's off.
get them out of here.
You know what I mean? So.
True story.
Yeah, man, but everybody got a story, man. And all your stories, man, people ain't gonna agree with, but you trying to get information out there that's gonna be helpful and change, you know, the course of our people and where we're currently at. And you know what I mean, to help young brothers that might be in the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? To show them like, man, you are where you are, but you ain't got to stay where you at.
Right.
You know
Transitioning.
Yeah, use your mentality, man. Some of the most the smartest people I've ever been around in my life, and I've been to college, I've traveled, I met them in the penitentiary. The best people I've ever been around in my life, I met them in the penitentiary. Dudes, man, and when I got out, man, cried like babies, and I cried because I felt like I was leaving them behind. So, beautiful, man, beautiful. And the most valuable asset we got, man, is right behind them prison walls in the graveyard.
That's crazy. Well, there you have it. Guns and Butter, episode 3. Peace.
Peace. Love you, Stu. Love y'all, my babies.